Watch the swing, she's heavy.
All right, bringing her down now. Push harder, they're backing up. All right, moving to the tank now. Keep it coming, watch that wave, hold steady. Woo. Break them in.
Move, move, move.
We got too many coming this way.
Watch the rail, bring it inboard. Watch the swing.
All right, swing it left. Easy now, easy. Hold it right there.
Oh God, they're everywhere. Move, move, move.
Watch the line. Clear the pot, let's go. Hold the line, watch the swing.
It's heavy, look out below.
All right, it's down, secure it now. We need more large clusters over here. Coming right up, watch your hands. They're everywhere, keep them moving. Secure the bins, we're losing them over the side. Keep moving, stack them high.
Watch the height, watch the height.
The gauge is buried in the red. Watch the swing. She's heavy. Secure it now.
Yeah, look at that. We hit the jackpot, boys. Watch your feet, another one coming in hot.
Clear the line, clear the line.
Keep it coming slow, watch the swing. Bring it down easy, right over the pad. We're clear on the line, drop it. Bring it up, easy now.
Watch the swing. Get the clamp on it.
That's a huge hole, boys.
In the middle of the Co's northern ocean, a giant iron ship with European fishermen wearing waterproof protective gear drifted on the waves, starting their journey to hunt thousands of giant king crabs. From the time they meticulously cut the bait,
Hurry, secure the
stuffed
nets.
it into each
Watch your
steel
footing, you're
cage
heading
trap,
starboard.
marked the cable, and lowered it to the bottom
just
of the
stand
dark
there.
deep
Grab a
sea,
rake.
where
your foot,
schools of
move it.
giant king crabs crowded in,
Heave.
struggling
Get that trap
fiercely in
up
the
now.
darkness, until the iron winch screeched. The cable stretched as if about to break, pulling the crab cages heavy with thousands of giant king crabs up from the water surface, splashing like foam on the cove. Wet deck. Male fishermen wearing waterproof protective gear struggled with the violently shaking steel cages, opening the latches to let the sea of giant king crabs rush out like a living river, their legs intertwined, scratching, and slugging on the steel floor. Then each crab is sorted, measured, selected, and neatly cut on stainless steel tables placed right on the deck. The clusters of giant red-orange king crab legs are separated, washed with cold seawater, neatly arranged, vacuum-packed, labeled, and put into deep freezers under the ship, where thousands of giant king crabs have now become blocks of perfectly frozen white meat when the sun sets. The iron ship laden with the giant king crab harvest quietly turns its bow back to port, sailing between the black water and the yellow lights of the fishing port, ending a long day soaked in seawater, sweat, and the sound of metal, opening a new journey for the sea warriors and the giant king crab treasure they brought back from the depths of the ocean.
Get the hook in there now. It's heavy, watch your footing. Watch out for the chain.
Clear the deck! Bring it in!
Watch out, it's swinging.
Get the latch open now.
Clear the deck, here it comes!
Get that pot secured, we're almost ready to set the line.
Baiting station's clear. Shove it forward. I think we should set the next pot right here at 62 north.
Copy that. The current looks good for it.
Set the first one here, move it, we're losing light.
Watch the line, easy down, easy down. Clear on the port side.
Watch your feet down there.
Hey, bring it up.
Watch the swing, get it secured. Watch out, they're coming through. We gotta pull back.
There's too many of them. Move.
From the deep, humid, and wide frosted cold storage, where thousands of giant king crabs have been butchered, packaged, and packed tightly into square packages. Their journey continues as the giant iron ship approaches the wharf. The anchor ropes are raised, tightly hooked to the mossy concrete pillars. The crane on the shore stretches its steel arms down to the bottom of the ship, lifting up each pallet laden with boxes bearing the words King Crab inside his sweat, cold, and sleepless nights of a group of male fishermen wearing waterproof protective gear on the deck. The yellow light shines on the wind-tanned faces, chapped hands,
watch out for the claws.
but the eyes shine with pride when looking at the thousands of giant king crabs that have been cleaned and neatly processed, ready to continue on refrigerated container trucks running into the night, heading to factories, restaurants, and eateries around the world. The harbour is noisy with the sound of engines, sirens, and seagulls. But for the men returning from the deep sea, it is a familiar song signaling the end of the trip. And then after a few short days of rest, they return to sea, bait, release cages, face the waves and the biting cold, continuing the harsh but proud cycle of hunting thousands of giant king crabs in the heart of the ocean.
Watch the swing on that pot. All right, she's secure. Let's stack it. Secure the main line. Let's get this dumped. Watch your hands, heavy swing.
clear this jam right here. I'm trying, watch out for that claw.
Long nights at sea. When the wind howls through the steel hull and the waves crash loud against the sides, the men in waterproof protective gear stand firm on the deck. Beneath their feet are traces of countless balls of giant king crabs that have been pulled up. Cage after cage. Day after day, for them. The fishy smell of the seawater. The screeching of the cable winches. The sound of steel cages hitting the floor and the sight of thousands of giant king crabs struggling frantically in the cups are not just work, but a part of life that is ingrained in their blood, each time the ship leaves the dock. It brings with it the hope of a bumper crab season and the worry of sudden storms. Whether the cables can bear the weight of the traps brimming with crabs. Whether their hands are strong enough to cut, sort, and pack them before the day ends, then, when they return, amidst the yellow lights of the fishing port, amidst the rows of silent refrigerated containers containing the smooth, sweet, white giant king crab meat, they only have time to take a quick pack before meeting again, checking the crabs, lubricating the winches, marking the new sea area, preparing for the next journey. The tiring but proud cycle turns the men in waterproof protective gear into warriors of the sea, quietly attaching their lives to steel traps and thousands of giant king crabs, so that somewhere halfway around the world, people raise their glasses, enjoying each piece of sweet crab meat without knowing that behind is a fierce epic of wind, waves, steam, sweat and human ring.
Need another stack of those large ones over here. Coming right up, watch your fingers.
I'm so tired I could sleep for a week.
Yeah, but look at that catch. We earned this stew.
Get that one tight. All right, she's secure now.
Give it one more pull.
All right, she's secure now. Even to the bollard, watch the slack. All right, we have it. Secure the front line. Careful on the gangway. Right this way. Here are the manifests you asked for.
What is this discrepancy on page 3?
We've logged the 2,000 giant crabs right here, Inspector.
All right, let's cross-reference the tags.
And so, the story of the Iron Ships hunting thousands of giant king crabs continues to be written every season, every year. When
Watch
the
your hands
steel
on the hook.
cages are checked
Secured.
every weld, every
All right,
wire.
take it up slow.
When the men in waterproof protective gear repeat the familiar movements, cutting
Keep it
the
steady,
bait,
bringing it in.
stuffing it into the trap,
Watch the rotation.
tying the rope,
Okay, easy
dropping it
down
into
now,
the
we're
deep
clear.
sea, then nervously looking
All
at
right,
their
easy
watches,
now, easy.
waiting
Clear on
for the
this
right
side.
moment for the winch to roar, pulling the traps heavy
Watch
with
your feet, here
thousands
comes
of
the lift.
giant king crabs out of the cold water on the deck. Waves of giant king crabs rush out, are sorted, cut, cleaned,
Watch the swing, watch the swing.
frozen right in
All
the
right,
middle
easy
of the
now,
ocean,
bring it down slow.
so that when the ship turns back to the dock in the late sunset, the square
moving,
packages
next pallet up.
containing giant white king
All right,
crab
open
meat
this
are
one up
ready
for
for the
inspection.
next journey on trucks,
Quality
on
looks
cargo
good.
ships, on planes, from the cold wet deck to the luxurious restaurant, from the calloused hands of fishermen to the hands of diners lifting the bright red crab claws. All are connected by an invisible thread of effort and exchange, where each whistling of the cable,
The quality checks are complete.
each impact
Everything
of the
looks
steel
good.
cage,
That's a relief.
each
Thank
sea
you.
of thousands of giant king crabs struggling violently in the cage trap or become wordless frames, contributing to creating a silent epic of the deep sea and the people living with the sea.
Watch the clearance. Okay, set it down easy. Next one ready. Finally, some peace and quiet.
Best cup of coffee I've had all week.
Are we heading home now? Easy now, watch the corner. We need this loaded fast.
Heave. Get it over here. All right, next one up.
All right, man, that's the last of it. Tough break on the traps this run.
Yeah, but the price held up well.
See you next season, Captain.
We hauled in close to 5,000 crabs this run. Better than expect. We need to tighten up the prep next time and minimize the risks.
Got it, Cap.
Watch the line, pull it clear now.
But still has the familiar musty smell of thousands of giant king crabs that have just been pulled up, butchered, and packaged. The men in waterproof protective gear have a rare moment to look up at the sky. Where the evening light fades into darkness, they lean against the cold steel railing, listening to the steady sound of waves lapping against the side of the ship. The sound of the engine has calmed down after a day of roaring, pulling cage traps laden with giant king crabs from the deep to the deck, below deck. The smooth white meat of giant king crabs lies quietly in refrigerated containers, neat and tidy. A complete contrast to the scene where they once struggled violently in the cage traps and poured out on the slippery steel floor, on shore. Somewhere,
Get those lines
refrigerated
ready.
trucks are ready to receive their work,
Hey, Cap.
carrying the
bull
giant
line now.
king crab meat away from the whistling wind and the salty smell,
line away.
into the world of bright lights and cozy dining
Got it.
tables.
Securing the
What
bow
remained
line
on
now.
the deck were only silent figures tidying up the cables, rearranging the traps, checking each joint, so that tomorrow morning, before dawn,
Feels good to
they
be
would
back
be
on
ready to
solid
repeat
ground.
the endless cycle,
Tell me about it.
going out to sea,
Let's get some rest.
releasing the cages, waiting, pulling them up, witnessing the scene of thousands of giant king crabs once again struggling violently in the steel traps in the cold deep sea.
We need more bins over here. All right, bringing them now.
the city lights up. The refrigerated containers containing giant white king crab meat begin to leave the dock, following each other like a train of light crawling through the darkness. Inside are the results of many times the winch is tightened. Many steel cage traps are heavy with thousands of giant king crabs struggling violently on the deck, left behind. The iron ship quietly rocks gently with the last waves of the day. The men in waterproof protective gear have just taken off their gloves, still smelling salty from the sea and the fishy smell of king crab. Their hands touch the cold railing, but their hearts still echo with the image of the bulging cages. Layers of crabs stacked on top of each other like a giant living mass in the small dining room. The sound of spoons hitting bowls echoes mixed with hoarse laughter because of the wind.
We'll be alongside
The story revolves around today's sea trip, which cage has the most crabs, which pull is so heavy that the winch rolls red. The scene of the entire deck being dyed by thousands of giant king crabs crawling chaotically under the yellow light. Sometimes, through the small window, they see the distant silhouettes of cranes still working, unloading pallets marked king crab, reminding them that their work cutting meat, gathering claws, packaging, freezing right on deck in the cold wind and rough waves will continue to transform the deep-sea creatures that once struggled violently in cage traps into premium dishes on distant banquet tables, and when the ship's clock chimes to a new day. Amid the howling wind through the antenna and the steady sound of waves crashing against the steel hull, they close their eyes in the cramped sleeping compartment, knowing that soon the order will ring out again on the radio. The winch will roar again. The cables will be tightened again. The steel cages will disappear into the cold sea, waiting for the moment when thousands of giant king crabs will once again be pulled up, pouring onto the deck like a flood of life that will never stop.
Another record run. I can finally feel my toes again. Yeah, best feeling in the world. Almost as good as the paycheck.